You must have noticed how high-value men always stand out wherever they go. Well, it's because they have specific qualities that are impossible to overlook. While it can often be about what they do and how they carry themselves, it can also be about what they do not do. In fact, there are specific things high-value men never do, and you must know them if you also want to be identified as a high-value man. Luckily, this video will highlight some of these things that high-value men never do, but low-value men always do. Be sure to stick around until the end of this video, as number 1 will leave you absolutely stunned. Number 10. They don't think they're better than others. We often see some men start to get egotistic as soon as they begin making significant progress in life. It gets to their head, and they start to feel they're better than others. It even gets worse because it reflects in their character and in how they relate with others. Well, this is a quality of low-value men, and it's something you never find high-value men doing. On the contrary, high-value men remain humble, regardless of their achievements. They realize that everybody is equally valuable, so they don't go around treating other people like trash. Instead, they respect everybody they come across without minding their level or social status. Number 9. They don't settle for less. One of the most obvious qualities of high-value men is that they never settle for less than they deserve. This is applicable in all aspects of their life, even in their dealings and relationships with others. They know what they want, set clear goals, and go for it, regardless of how high it may seem. Low-value men, on the other hand, have less confidence in themselves and their abilities, so they often settle for whatever they're given. Knowing what you want and going for it without settling for less does not only identify you as a high-value man, but it also helps you achieve even seemingly unrealistic goals. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more exciting tips and videos like this. Number 8. They're not desperate for attention. Another telling difference between high-value men and their low-value counterparts is that high-value men are not desperate for attention. So, while low-value men will go about seeking to be noticed, high-value men know they've got what it takes and don't need to beg for anybody's attention. They just go about their day in a regular way, not minding whether anybody notices them. Number 7. They never talk more than they listen. If you have a conversation with a low-value man, you'll notice them talking a lot more than they should. There are many reasons for this, but it's often a desperate attempt to gain attention. On the other hand, high-value men know that it's repulsive to talk too much without listening. Also, they know they don't have to prove themselves by talking too much, since they're already confident in their abilities, so they listen more and talk less. This way, they allow others to talk too, which is a way of showing respect. Also, when they choose to talk, their input is always top class and valuable contributions. Number 6. They don't complain about the situation. Do you know how you rarely see high-value men complaining about their situations? Well, it's a character that separates them from the other mediocre men. Of course, high-value men often strive to change their misfortunes and ensure things go the way they want. But then, they're also ready to accept the things they can't control, instead of complaining about them, as low-value men often do. For example, there's only a little or nothing you can do to change a traffic situation or bad weather. So instead of dwelling on it, high-value men have trained themselves to accept the situation, adapt, and improvise to still come out on top. After all, life isn't about what happens to you, but how you react to it. Have you ever tried to change something that's clearly beyond your control? Please, tell us how it all turned out in the comments section below. Number 5. They're not dependent on others. One of the telling qualities of high-value men is how independent they are. They're self-sufficient and do not look to others as their source of physical, emotional, or material satisfaction. So instead of depending on others, they're focused and work for what they want. Low-value men, on the other hand, always have their satisfaction tied to other people's acceptance or approval. So instead of working to get what they want, they depend on others to provide it for them. This often requires them to bend over their will and be controlled by others. High-value men do not appreciate being controlled, so they never depend on others. Number 4. They don't lose their temper easily. Knowing how to control your temper is a great achievement, and it's another quality that makes high-value men stand out among others. Where others would lose their cool and lash out or result in using harsh words, high-value men know how to keep their tempers in check. Of course, it's not easy to control your temper always, especially in situations where others are intentionally inconsiderate. However, high-value men know how essential it is for them to remain calm, so they would rather walk away from the situation if it's becoming unbearable. Number 3. They don't play mind games. High-value men are known for their intelligence, but they never use it to exploit other people's intelligence. This is because they're confident and would take a direct approach instead of hiding behind puny mind games. People who result in playing mind games are low-value men who like to hide their intentions for fear of being insufficient. If you want to identify as a high-value man, then you should never stoop so low to play dirty mind games. By the way, do you find yourself struggling to forego any of these low-value qualities we've discussed so far? Well, there are many places you can get help, but I recommend onlinetherapy.com. The specialists here are well-trained professionals and can help you become the best version of yourself. Number 2. They don't worry about what other people think of them. High-value men are confident in their own skin and do not go out of their way to conform to other people's ideas. They're never bothered about what other people think of them, as long as they're convinced about their intentions and actions. This is very much unlike low-value men who are shaped by other people's opinions of them. One of the first things to note in your quest to become a high-value man is that what others think of you does not matter much. As long as you're convinced you're doing the right thing, then you should never be affected by their criticisms. But then, this does not mean you shouldn't take good advice. What it entails is that you should never let criticism get to you or affect your critical decisions. Number 1. They do not compromise their principles. High-value men are known for their principles and how they stick to them. This is why you will never find them going against their code of conduct to please others or gain their approval. On the other hand, low-value men often do not have standards, so they tend to always bend to other people's will. High-value men know that life is not all about getting people to like them, so they would rather displease others than do something that goes against their ethics. Of course, they always leave room for correction and growth, and can often entertain intelligent opinions, but they will never compromise their principles, especially on things that are deal breakers. Click on this next video now for more tips on how to become a high-value man.